Our weather is about to change a ton, everybody, all the way from a potential derecho still happening for tonight to even put that moderate section in there. Chances for 75 miles per hour wind gusts and exceeding 75 expected by National Weather Service. Also with this extreme heat that's going to kick in with our heat indices for today, also for tomorrow, while we get this cool front coming through, bringing nice 50s and 60s overnight to a lot of people. But at the same time, this cool front is going to activate potential storms along the East Coast while we have these strong tropical waves going by the Lesser Antilles trying to form up in the Atlantic. Now, we do have a lot of formation going into the Eastern Pacific. None of these is affecting anyone. It's not affecting Hawaii. Nobody. So I'm about to show you in this video what's going on with our weather pattern, because it is about to dramatically change, everybody. I'm going to start off with our temperatures, because we're going to break a lot of records. Then I'm going to talk about what's going on with our severe weather. And it's going to be very hot for today and for tomorrow. I know y'all do not want to see this. I'm so sorry. For today, it's going to be over 110 degrees for the Southwest, so get ready for the heat coming to you. Plus, for the central and the north central plains, over 100-degree temperatures coming through, while everyone else is still going to be in the 90s and going all the way towards 100 or over 100 degrees across the southeast. Now remember, with our heat index value, this is going to make it worse all week long. It's going to go lower and lower all week. So for today, you're going to feel like over 100 degrees, even over 105 in multiple states. It's going to feel very hot today. Make sure you hydrate, especially for tomorrow, because it's going to be the same thing. For tomorrow, more of the same, over 100 to 110 degrees for the Southwest, while you have some 90s climbing all the way towards the Northwest. And now you have over 100-degree pocket just sitting here for the Central and the South Central. So be aware, it is going to be very hot for today and especially for tomorrow. And with our heat index value, it's going to feel even worse for tomorrow. Look at this. A lot of people is going to be over 100 to over 105 degrees, potentially 110. Feels like temperatures for tomorrow. And breaking some records, everybody. Look at this. For today, you go highs are going to be over 100 degrees, especially along the southeast at 100 or right over 100 degrees, breaking some records up to 100 years ago. Now, this will be for tomorrow as well, bringing those hot temperatures where you're going to be breaking records again all the way towards the northeast, especially over here towards Florida. And once again, your overnight lows is going to be very warm as well. For today, for tomorrow, it's going to spread to more states, and as we keep going for the rest of the week, some very warm overnight lows. Now, we still have this big cool front that's coming through, and unfortunately, it's not going all the way towards the Gulf states. I wish it would. The storms it creates will bring you somewhat of a cool down, but it's still going to be hot for y'all, while the cool down comes along the west coast as well, all the way towards the 5th and the 6th of August. So just in the beginning of it, as we go into this weekend, starting on Thursday, you're going to see those 60s coming through, even those 50s coming through for Thursday. This is going to go further south as we go further into the weekend. Here we go for Friday. Now it's going down towards Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, all the way towards the northeast. As you go into Saturday, it's going to go even lower. Now potentially Kentucky, West Virginia, maybe even Western Virginia. And as you go through Sunday, it's going to be there as well. Some very cool overnight lows. Now let's go through the severe weather real quick, because this is pretty strong storms coming through for tonight. This will create more power outages, everyone. For yesterday, we did get 3 tornado reports. One in Nebraska, one in South Dakota, and one in Minnesota for those strong storm cells that we saw ramping up yesterday. Plus, we have over 100 wind damage reports, everybody. A lot of damage came across yesterday and a lot of power outages. It has gotten a little bit better. Showing the latest is Minnesota with 38,000 without power, Iowa 34,000, Virginia 31,000. Then we have Nebraska, West Virginia, other places that has a smaller amount, but still a lot of places without power. Even Illinois, 2,200, 1,300 from Missouri. And altogether, over 121,000 homes without power this morning. And you can see from here, the severe weather has ramped up for today. Not only the enhanced feature, they also added the moderate feature. And this is chances for tornadoes as well, but it's going to be for mostly winds because of a potential derecho, everybody. But so far, here's your cities and states at risk for a tornado threat for tonight. And a hail threat as well, still going all the way back towards Montana. So here's your cities and states at risk for hail for tonight. But our wind threat is going to be the main threat for today. You have the big black hatched area where you can see up to 75 miles per hour wind gusts. Then you have this big 30% and this big 45% where it's going to be exceeding 75 miles per hour, everybody. So here's your cities and states at risk for damaging winds for tonight. And the top three colors of white, pink, and red is where it's expected to be the strongest. And you can see this from National Weather Service. A derecho is likely across portions of the northern plains with several gusts expecting to exceed 75 miles per hour. A few line-embedded tornadoes and instances of severe hail may also occur. Showing as we go around 2 and 3 p.m., we're going to start seeing some supercells forming up for North Dakota. And as we go later in the evening around 5 and 6 p.m., we're going to start seeing it congealing together a little bit. The storms are going to move into South Dakota, but then it's going to start forming up that chance for that derecho as you go by 7 and 8 p.m. This is where you're going to get some storms coming across Montana as well. You are going to get a little bit of rain coming across for the southwest, for Arizona and New Mexico. But your main feature is going to be the storm building overnight, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Then it turns into that potential derecho overnight. So we're looking at nocturnal storms once again, everybody. As you go all the way towards 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, still looks like an MCV right there, a mesoscale convective vortex, bringing a lot of damaging winds. We still have very strong winds aloft, everybody, just like for yesterday. Showing as you go by 3 o'clock in the morning, the atmosphere stabilizes and this storm really dissipates very quickly. And you can see with the winds aloft that it does strengthen up as you go by 9 and 10 o'clock. Bring a lot of strong winds behind the storm system, and it really congeals together as you go by 11 and 12 towards southern Minnesota going through northern Iowa. Now we're looking at 75 knot winds. That's very powerful winds to be behind this storm, everybody, as it goes by 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, still showing a lot of strength. Southern Minnesota, northern and eastern Iowa, and western and southwestern Wisconsin as you go through the evening. And you can see how far this actually builds all the way into Wisconsin and Illinois. You can see how it breaks apart right when you get towards central Illinois, central Wisconsin, and it weakens down greatly. While you get some strong winds from Montana as well. All this is 50 miles per hour wind gusts in the orange. You get to 60 in the red, the 70 in all this brown, and then you get pockets of 80 and 90 plus coming across southern South Dakota, going across eastern South Dakota once again, and going through southern Minnesota through northern Iowa. Please be careful. This will be a dangerous event. And showing very large hail coming with those storm cells still, everybody, through South Dakota and through southern Minnesota. Please be aware, very strong winds, very large hail, even potential tornadoes embedded in this line of storms of a potential derecho. Still, they only have that marginal coming out for Tuesday, but they're not showing any tornado threat so far with that, everyone. It would be for winds and a smaller threat for hail, if any. Now let's go through the latest tropical update. We are seeing some changes this morning, some good changes. Some of the changes not so good, but I think it's starting to go in a little bit of a weakening phase. Remember, this is going to go back and forth, and mainly because this plume of dust, what is happening with this wave. Still talking about 5 days before this reaches the Lesser Antilles. It's just now coming off the coast of Africa, the one we need to watch. Now shown by the GEOS satellite, showing that this dust will be intertwined with this tropical wave as this comes across. It is showing the same path that we're seeing in a lot of these ensembles and models, going right across Bahamas, over Florida into the northeastern Gulf, but showing on this model that it will still have some dust around it, which would prohibit any kind of formation, as everybody knows. But this is only by the GEOS satellite. This is not a hurricane model, but still, this is good news right here. This would suppress this big wave from doing anything. Matter of fact, when we go for the chances for a tropical depression in 5 days, you can see that wave coming here, while we have chances for something still to form right off the east coast that should push off towards the east-northeast. As we go 6 and 7 days, as it reaches the Lesser Antilles, look how much weaker the chances have gotten overnight for tropical development. Still showing it will go on that path, either go around that high pressure or stretch further towards the west. Maybe something can form up along the coast. And showing right behind this one is another wave trying to form. Showing the latest information by Euro AI, it still won't let it go, but I think we're going to slowly see a little bit of gradual development of less activity coming out of this tropical wave if it still verifies with this dust. Showing it still could form up right over here by Turks and Caicos. Still a deciding factor whether it goes around this high pressure and it weakens, or whether this high pressure expands and pushes it further towards the west. Now, once it gets towards August 4th and August 5th, this is where it could either go west or come around this high pressure towards the east coast. We don't even know if it would be this much development. It could still just be a group of disorganized thunderstorms. I will keep you updated. The model still will not let it go. For this morning, it shows that it has a lot of issues forming up, and it gets stalled over the Bahamas, loses its chance to go into the Gulf, then it pulls it right around the east coast. And then we have another tropical wave coming right behind that one. But with the latest information, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of a weakening trend coming with this system. I'll show you in the ensembles. So you can see over here in 7 days showing particularly going by the Turks and Caicos a little bit further towards the north. And some of these are still going towards the west, but it's not as many as it was. So right now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 or a little bit more showing that westward push. The rest of them is starting to show a weakening. We even have one that strengthens up late, even a weak one that still goes into the Gulf towards Texas. But we're only seeing about 5 now out of 25. So it still has about a 20% chance of forming. It's not a great chance, but 20% chance is not a zero. And you can see with the other 25 showing a little bit further towards the north, which would be great. The further towards the north, the further this high pressure would swing out these thunderstorms into the Atlantic. But once again, it's showing the same thing, showing about 4 or 5. And the second group maybe showing a few more, where we still have about a 20 to a 25% chance of this actually forming. Now, this is where some of the good news comes into play, everybody. Look at the changes. So as we look for the chances for development, we're still seeing a big cluster right here as it goes by for August 3rd and August 4th, showing the trend more likely to be a tropical storm, then become a Cat 1 hurricane, but doing a lot of zigzagging around this high pressure. But a lot of them is starting to show into the Atlantic now. We still have them going into the Gulf. We still have a few of them going into the Gulf, but a majority of them shows that it will pile up somewheres over here rather than getting pushed into the Gulf. I will keep you updated. This is going to move around a little bit. Still showing by National Hurricane Center, no tropical development expected in the next 7 days. But I do think we will see an outlook for this region soon, giving it a low chance as of right now. And for the rest of the season, we're still seeing 2 different directions. So you can see with your favorable environment, your potential velocity anomaly with GFS, showing that we're going to stay in favorable environment all the way to August 10th, all the way towards August 13th. And the Euro model is showing the opposite like yesterday. It's showing we have favorable environment till August 5th, but it shows this sinking air propagating to the east, coming right over us. GFS is showing that that sinking air will not make it all the way to our section. I will keep you updated. It's still flip and flop on these 2 models. But the Euro is showing that that next wave behind this wave is one that could strengthen up as it goes by the Lesser Antilles. I will keep you updated. This from August 5th through August 10th. Please check on your neighbors. Please check on the pets. Everybody, this is going to be a strong storm moving through. Before I go, some quick words from our Father, everybody. Leviticus 19, 17, and 18. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. If you're in the line of this potential derecho, please take cautions. Get things out of your yard that could become projectiles. Please check on your neighbors. Please check on the pets. I cannot say this enough. There's going to be some strong winds moving through. I appreciate everybody. Hope you have a very great day, and may God bless every single one of y'all. Remember, above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great night, everyone. Be careful, please.